welcome to the Bullcast Podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me today is Cameron Spann.
Hello.
And Court Winsett.
Hello.
Oh, 'tis the season.
Almost. I mean, I guess technically it is the season.
We're in the
It's
season.
the season, yeah.
Yeah, we're totally.
This time of year, it's all about cheer and giving back. This is a conversation that we definitely talk with our clients a lot, but sat in a session when I went to a conference back in October. And it's really hit on this subject. So we thought we'd talk about it, and it's understanding the values you want to leave behind. We oftentimes talk about how much money are you leaving and what to do, or we've talked about what happens when your family leaves behind debt or assets or whatever it may be. How do you handle it? What about the values aspect of it? You know, there's this great quote from Warren Buffett: the perfect amount to leave your kids is enough money so that they would feel they could do anything, but not so much money that they could do nothing.
Whoa, that's deep.
Yeah. So really just dive into that of enough money that they are comfortable, they could do what they want to do, but not so much that they could be bums, not work, not contribute to society, and just,
Quit their job.
Move
to the beach.
Yeah. And that is a fine line of really figuring that out, of having that amount. So good job, Warren Buffett. Doesn't shock me. So as I said, Christmas season is a season of giving, reflection, and family values. It's also one of the few times during the year when multiple generations are in the same room: parents, children, grandparents. So it makes sense to kind of think about this. And we already have that happening because it's, oh, well, I didn't raise my kids that way, or, oh, you kiddos over here doing this, doing that. Like that conversation already happens of how things are done, or even to the traditions of how you cook things. Some Aunt Betty's always cooked her pot roast this way, but then somebody else is going to take over. Well, that's not how I do it. So there's comical versions to it, and then there's real versions of the traditions, the values, what you do, and the time you're gathering. So this makes sense to naturally talk about this at this season. What are we really passing down to the next generation, and what are we instilling in them to continue? Whether it's as simple as the every night we're going to read, because, Court, don't y'all read a story every night? Not every night.
Not every night.
At Christmas.
Every Christmas Eve, yeah, we read Santa Mouse. We've been doing it since the kids were kids, and they're not kids anymore, but Robin still insists that they all sit down and listen to me read it to them. So here I am reading Santa Mouse, which is a really, really basic children's book to my 3 grown kids.
I don't know that I've read it.
I know that book, yeah.
Yeah.
See, and I bet you that at least one out of your 3 kids would continue that, if not all of them.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to enjoy it. It's hard to know how much of a show they're putting on for their mother because they know how much their mother loves it, but they do seem to enjoy it. So
it's probably not so much even about the book. It's just about tradition and the memories.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like I have an entire small tree in my kitchen that is Campbell's soup and peanuts, Snoopy, Lucy, the whole gang. I realized when I put on peanuts the other day for the boys, and of course, they're little, they don't know, but just hearing the Charlie Brown music and stuff. And I realized that I have never really watched a lot of Charlie Brown. I've not, I've know the basic stories. I know like the big ones like the Great Pumpkin and Christmas Tree, but that's one of those that I just continue to collect Peanuts stuff. I can draw towards Snoopy stuff because of my granny, but it's not really even that I can tell you, oh, Lucy does this. Like, I don't know. I just continue it. So we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go ahead and do our fun list first. This is the best families in Christmas movies.
The McAllisters from the Home Alone series. The best family? They're iconic. A big, loud, imperfect family that proves love shows up even after mistakes. The mistakes being leaving your child 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel saw something that said Home Alone is pretty much Die Hard for kids.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, the next one on the list is the Griswolds.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Vacation, a family determined to make Christmas memorable, even when everything goes wrong. And this is
a family determined to make Christmas memorable, or was it Clark?
It was Clark.
Clark. Well, but
his family pretty much fought him every step of the way.
Well, his wife was supportive, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And this is just how it's like you think one person's coming and then the other person, and just how you have to keep going. And the Christmas is stressful.
Yeah. Next on the list is the Baileys from It's a Wonderful Life. A family rooted in sacrifice, love, and community.
Yep.
I'm so glad I get this
Isn't
one.
this one of your favorites?
I'm so glad. The Stones from The Family Stone. A close-knit, that's the key, they're very close-knit, outspoken family navigating change, grief, and new relationships during the holidays. And did you hear the news? The writer of that, writer-director, is thinking about a sequel just to pay tribute to Diane Keaton. Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
that's cool.
Because, I mean, can I spoil it? The movie's been out for a while. I don't want to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it, but it just makes sense. She passed away in real life and things happen in the movie. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Before we jump to the next one, there's a new movie that dropped that the premise or like the previews kind of make it seem like it's supposed to be going kind of like the Stones, but I had it on in the background. It's not the Stones for sure.
Okay.
It's
is
the
it the
Michelle
one?
Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Abby and I started that one. She has the Texas accent.
Yeah.
What is this a new movie?
It's like Whatnot or
Yeah.
it's something
It's like
weird.
something all the way. Oh, what? No, what is it? Oh, it's a Netflix movie.
Let me find it.
It's pretty entertaining.
It hadn't crossed my
It
menu
just
yet.
dropped.
No, I mean like we spent all weekend watching.
Oh, what fun.
Oh, what fun. There it is. Yeah.
No, it definitely talks about it's a kind of crazy dysfunctional family and just kind of their different worlds, but then the mom is at the center of it all, stressed out, but
100% going through menopause or something, right? She's just sad.
she is stressed and overwhelmed with the holidays.
Okay, that is not fair for me to say a woman must be going through menopause to be sad, but just, I don't know, her.
You just got canceled.
Yeah, her you just have to watch it. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah, it she does have some point. I watched it and she does have some points in there of the stress and, the values and traditions that mothers always hold up. And she kind of was telling her family, like, you don't appreciate me enough. And they got a wake up call at Christmas. Okay, going back to the list, the Love Actually families. Interconnected families experiencing love in many forms, romantic, parental, and platonic. I'm not that big of a Love Actually fan.
Me neither. A lot of people love it.
It's one of my favorite movies. So I've always very much liked it, and everybody is very much interconnected. The Alan Rickman character, his wife is played by what's her name? I can't even remember.
Emma
Thompson. Yes. Her brother is the prime minister. She's close friends with Liam Neeson's character. So like they're all of the characters are interconnected, and then they all have, different tales, and some of them are sadder and some of them are happier. So
I mean, it's good. I like it. I like it better than Elf.
Yeah,
the bar is low.
I'm not an Elf fan, but you remember there was like a long time a lot of movies that were filmed that way, where it's like all the different stories and stuff like that, and I liked them.
Like Crash. Did you ever see Crash?
Crash.
Yeah.
Crash was definitely that way. Valentine's Day,
New Year's Day, basically all of the holidays.
They did like a Mother's Day, I think, one too.
Yeah, and the last one on the list is The Who's from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And here's my thing about that. It's Whoville. It's a whole town of Who's. They're called Who's. It's not a family.
No.
It's like saying that human beings are a family. They're the Who's. They're just the Who's, right? I'm not wrong on this.
I don't think you're wrong.
I mean, don't they get proven how they're kind of absorbed with gift giving and all this stuff like that?
They love Christmas.
They love Christmas, but Martha May Whovier she's like, I love her.
See, you're referring to the Grinch.
The Grinch, yes.
And I'm thinking back to the actual How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yes, I'm thinking of the Jim Carrey one.
Yeah.
But I agree. Let's move on to redefining family legacy. So legacy is often misunderstood as what you leave behind when you're gone. In reality, legacy is also what your family carries forward. Money alone doesn't teach responsibilities, gratitude, or purpose. Values do. Now, obviously, this is something that both Court and Cam and myself have a lot to do with legacy and what you leave behind, and from the branding aspect of it, of what people say about you when you're no longer here, what is continuing to happen on your behalf, whether you're alive or gone. And then from the legal perspective, then that's something on what do you put in place to continue. So like, are you gooing? Are you leaving money to an organization? Are you setting it up where every year for the next 50 years a donation is made, so you're leaving a legacy gift? Like, there's so many different components to this. And so it says what wealthy families worry most about, but it's families, because wealth is it doesn't have to be wealth in a certain definition that you have to have millions. It could be any family and what they want to leave behind.
I think one of the things that I will say is that you tend to focus on family meetings and familial investment in the legacy and stuff like that when you're dealing with larger sums of money.
Yeah.
It's just natural for a person who has a lot of money and realizes that money isn't everything, that they want to leave something behind that's bigger than themselves. And they will often come to an advisor and want to talk about that legacy and talk about what they should do to structure their plan so that they can carry out whatever legacy it is they want to carry out. And the thing about that is there are things that you can do. There are proper ways to go about it. Like I said, family meetings, actually discussing what your plans are with your family on a regular basis, so everybody is in the know, and so that you avoid fights down the line.
We're not going to get into specifics of certain products, different things to structure, but you can have it where a trust is created that is just for charitable giving, and you can appoint a certain family member or a committee of family members that determine each year, so that this is a pool of money that's giving on behalf of the family, and the family is continuing that even long after you're gone or even while you're alive, but it's a joint decision. But again, that doesn't have to be the Bezos. That doesn't have to be the Elon Musk, those type of people. It can be any family. Now, yes, the larger pools of money make it where you can do that. And, depending on the dollars you're dealing with, would justify, like if you're going to give $100 a year to charity, you don't need to have a charitable trust set up. You don't need to do all of that. But I just want to put that out there, that wealthy, it's a definition that's different for everybody. So it's truly, if there are surplus funds that are available or will be left, whether it's going to individual family members or it's for something else, that's wealth. That's additional. It's an abundance. So families with wealth don't just worry about taxes or market performance. They worry about readiness, responsibility, and family harmony. But you're right. The family meetings, I mean, I'm picturing right now the Roy family from Succession, and you think about things like that. Some statistics that are out there: 73% believe it's important for their children or grandchildren to meet their financial advisor. This indicates a desire for continuity and trusted guidance beyond one generation. That is absolutely the case with us. We really push for our clients to at least let their kids or their grandkids know about us, but we often try and help them. And whether it's, their family members or not, helping somebody when they're young and just getting started to be on the right path makes a huge difference. But also, if we know that someone is in line to then inherit a sum of money, if we can teach them the basic foundations and value of spend and save and charitable giving, then they're going to continue when they get this money, not just blow it. Because I mean, people who inherit money, it's a lot of times gone.
Well, in fact, the next statistic is 78% believe advisors should provide financial education for the next generation, because within a generation or two, if you haven't educated them, that wealth will disappear.
Absolutely.
And I'm proud to say we are doing that.
Yeah.
Shameless plug, our foundation, we have provided completely free curriculum and standards in the whole financial literacy space. It's very important to David. It's very important to us as a firm to share our wisdom, because, the next, like it says, the next generation, if they don't know what to do with their money, it's just going to go away. It does no good for them.
Yeah. And they're going to get this money and they're going to do something stupid with it. And they may think they're doing the right thing. They may go, oh, I want to pay off my house. I want to pay off my car. And they don't take that half a second to meet with somebody and realize you can make that money stretch longer if you just did this, or this, instead of just trying to wipe yourself out. Or, as we talked about at the beginning, some people get the money and think that they can do nothing and they can live off of it, and they haven't done the math. They haven't listened and then now they've had, let's say a 10-year sabbatical where they're not working. They're living off their trust fund money, and then it's gone.
And the third and final statistic, 76% worry the next generation will be wasteful with inherited wealth. This concern isn't about judgment, it's about prep.
Absolutely. So why do families avoid these conversations? Despite these concerns, many families don't want to talk openly about estate planning or financial intentions. That is definitely something that it's really not a lot of times is it in the middle. My kids know everything about this. They know where my money is. They know what I've got. And the other is they don't know anything about this, and they won't know anything about this until I pass away. And it should be maybe a little bit more in the middle. I understand maybe not telling them, but, Court, I'd be interested from your perspective when you were, doing a lot of the estate plans and working with things like that. We have these families that are like, oh, well, I need to protect XYZ because they're going to, fly through this money and they don't need to have it all. But my other son, they can have it all at one time and they'll be responsible with it. Obviously, as a parent, I know if I would just say this to another parent, they'd just, roll their eyes at me. But maybe that should be more of a conversation of talking to them ahead of time. I'm like, hey, you're going to get this money. Let me try and start instilling values in you now of what you should be doing with this money and what you want to do, and then still put the protections in place.
Conversation is missing from the conversation because people are not inclined to talk about their financial affairs. I know I have mentioned before a statistic that I don't know the actual percentage of, but there is a certain percentage of people who would rather talk about their sex lives than talk about finances.
Yep.
It's very much an attitude out there that money is a private thing and you keep it to yourself. And that includes oftentimes not discussing it with your children, not discussing it with even your spouse. Ultimately, what ends up happening is you're dealing with two different elements when you talk about talking and teaching, educating your kids or whatever, and then also explaining to them. Educating them involves trying to give them the right techniques for money management and the skills to actually understand how money is saved, how money can be grown, how money should be spent, what it should be spent on, but also in a more abstract sense, you just want to provide your children with the right kind of values. That you want to make sure that they have values that sort of match what you think a good person should do. Make sure that they use the money to the extent that they are using it for good in the world, quote unquote. What is it that you think is going to be good? But then aside from that education aspect, you also have the aspect of your family is going to be better prepared for whatever decisions you have made financially, especially as it affects them, if you talk to them about it before you're gone, and don't just wait for them to find out about it when they read your trust or your will. Because again, I don't know how many times I have said this, that movie trope of everybody getting together in a room and sitting and waiting for the will to be read to find out what they inherited. That just doesn't happen.
No.
That's not the way. I have never personally, as an attorney, had a will reading for a family.
But they show it in every TV show, movie, whatever.
Knives
they
Out,
make it,
yeah.
The Ultimate Gift. Didn't they do that there?
Yeah. And I've had clients come in and say, like, here, I want this language included in my will. And it's basically some speech that they want to give to their child after their passing. And it's almost like,
or the person's recorded a video of themselves.
Why don't you just go ahead and say that to them now?
Yeah.
Because it's not going to have any impact on them if it's in your will, because chances are they're not even going to see your will.
Yeah. Well, and it's good because one of the things I tell people all the time is it's a balance of what you leave behind. Because if you don't have those conversations, I know I've said this on the podcast before, but it's the widow who walks into the financial advisor's office. Maybe she didn't have a relationship with them or not, but all of a sudden he says, Mrs. So-and-so, your husband took care of you. Here's your assets. And, we're here for you. And that she has every emotion known to man, but the main two are sadness and anger. And it is because their whole life, she thought they didn't have any money and they didn't do things that they could have done. They just lived very frugal. And his value is he just wanted to save. So then when he left, there was plenty for her. But what he missed out on is that there could have been a balance, that they could have enjoyed some of that while he was alive. And that's why she was angry, is she wanted to enjoy the money part of it while he was alive, and then, yes, be taken care of if something happened to him. So that's another reason why having the conversations early, because if you're, we said something about charitable, but it's also could be that you're leaving it and structured that we want all our kids college to be paid for. And so that we're going to structure it that way. Or, we want to structure that you do this or you do that. And so the values are something that obviously take time. If you can start instilling them in people while you're alive, then it's not here's this will, here's what I'm supposed to do. And you don't understand why every year you get a percentage of a trust. You don't understand why that was structured that way. And instead you're dealing with one of us that's saying, well, this is how your mom wanted it, or this is what it was. And they're like, well, why can't I get it all? This is what your parents wanted. This is what it says. So again, people are avoiding these conversations because of fear of conflict, entitlement, or losing control. It is one of those fears that if people know what you've got, then it just, having that money changes people. Money changes people's opinions. And so I can see why people want to protect it. But if you are not telling the players that are going to be a part of your legacy when you pass while you're alive, then why are they your players? Why are they the people? I'm going real deep. Y'all hang with me for a second.
Oh, I'm hanging on. I like this.
So my mom actually sent this to me, and I forwarded it to Court. I don't know if he watched it, but it was a video of this lady talking about that when you pass away, there's 7 minutes supposedly that your brain is still running, and it's almost who knows for sure, but it's like a highlight reel of your life. Who are the people you'd want to see in that 7 minutes? And so those are those people, and how would you hope that they're continuing to live in your legacy, even if it's not dollars, but it's like, you know what? I hope that they still continue to read Santa Mouse every Christmas Eve. I hope they continue to, travel to all the disc golf courses in the world and do stuff like that. But time is precious. This time of year, everybody's gathering together, and we're never promised how much time we have left. But instilling values of what you think is important, whether they follow through or not, you can at least go to your grave saying, I taught my family, I taught my friends, I taught those around me that I wanted. This is how I think you should live your life. This is how I think that you should move forward and what I would want my lasting legacy to be. That's something I tell a lot of people when someone passed away is try and keep their memory alive and do things as they would. Like I did not know my granddaddy Bobby. He passed away when my mom was real young, and I've heard so many stories about him, and I do different things because my mom said he would do them that way. So he's alive to me because of the stories. And so I think that when you're going back to the value, we can really think about that. So what families say is most important to pass on?
Number one.
Values and life lessons.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what we've been hammering on. Number 2 is instructions and wishes to be fulfilled.
It's your will.
Yeah.
Number 3, personal possessions with emotional meaning. That would be that book of yours or your tree with the Campbell soup cans.
Yeah. And that's the stuff that's important to you, and that you don't just have somebody come in there and go, oh, I'm going to sell this on eBay. Like, no, this was important. And deciding together as a family that one sibling doesn't go, oh, this is junk. And then the other sibling's like, where's mom's XYZ?
Coming in at number 4 number 4 on the list is financial assets and real estate. So number 4 down the list. Pretty far down the list.
Okay, so the gifts we remember most aren't always the most expensive. They're the ones tied to memories, meanings, and intentions. Ones that have the thought behind it or the experiences, things like that. So it's interesting, when I was at this session, they talked about a family mission statement. Now, again, this is something that you would see with the Roy family, with the Bezos family, things like that. But it's interesting to think about having that for any net worth size family. And now, Cam, can you speak a little bit about building a mission statement? Because you've helped Pickler companies build theirs. And...
Yeah, that's funny. You were talking about family mission statement. And I mean, you could talk about family being your company, your employees. We've got our unique value proposition, which is our family delivering solutions for your family. We have our mission, which is paying it forward with passion and purpose. And, it's important. It's important for all of your employees to know it, to know what they are working towards, to have that shared goal. And, we can get away from employees and talk about family. It's important for all family members to be working towards the same goals. Do you have a mission statement for your family, Katie?
I don't. So I'm sitting there thinking, the Picklers need to get together and create our mission statement. Of course, they'll probably be like, Cam, blast it on T-shirts. Let's get this going.
It's probably pretty similar to the Pickler mission statements, like community service, paying it forward.
Yeah, it's always been that. And family, like togetherness is important. And it's, when my granny started the family reunions at Hot Springs. Every year we would get together, and my mom was really worried when she passed away that they were going to stop, but we've kept them up every year. And then she's now worried again as the siblings are getting older, and it's gotten smaller for sure, but I've promised her, I said, whatever I can do, I will make sure we get together. It may not be exactly what it is now, but we're going to continue something. Even if I'm doing it by myself, we're continuing that legacy. And so I think that's the other thing is you're not going to get everybody on board. And this should not be like a Jim Jones thing where everyone drink the Kool-Aid and everybody, chant. I'm going like every spectrum, real emotional and real out there. But this says the family mission statement puts values into words. It becomes a reference point for decisions, generosity, and expectations. And I like the idea of a mission statement because, again, during this time of year, there is a lot of gift giving. There is a lot of charitable giving. Companies create their mission of these are the different organizations we're going to support. And it really helps streamline. So when people are asking you for donations, things like that, it's like, well, we primarily focus on X, Y, Z. It wouldn't be bad from a financial aspect for your family to really, well, we really want to focus on X, Y, Z. And it's not that you're going to support every possible thing on the planet.
Yeah.
Now, you could do the, round up or throw $1 here or there, but when it's the bigger things, it's like, no, as a family, we really want to support this or that.
Well, so you got to get all the family to buy in.
Yep.
That means engaging the whole family. Actually, and again, I know I mentioned family meetings at the front end. This is a good thing to do at a family meeting where you've got all of the generations together in a room. You get buy-in from everybody by getting everybody engaged and letting everybody have input into what your shared family values are, whether it's generation or faith or education or work, hard work, service, integrity. What are your shared values as a family? Come up with something that everybody can agree on. So again, you get that buy-in, craft the statement together, whatever the statement is going to be, and display it, not hidden in a drawer, but have somebody
cross stitch it.
Yeah, cross stitch it or carve it out of wood or put it on a T-shirt like you said, and then wear it on a family cruise. I mean, whatever you're going to do, always reference back to that. Live it. Don't just say it and forget about it. Live it and actually revisit it regularly and talk about it as a family. It doesn't just evolve from like, okay, what are our shared values? Okay, let's stitch that word into a thing. You gotta figure out what the purpose of your family is beyond financial success. So it's more than that.
Yeah.
You're right. The key to buy-in is having input from everyone.
Yeah.
Back to work family, David didn't just mandate the mission statement, commitment, creed, UVP one day. We literally had a flip chart, and everyone was throwing out words and ideas and all these things. And together we crafted these. It took a few hours.
And it's, one of those things that I could see me structuring, of course, my boys are little now, but family trips is going to be a huge value for me. And I could see me almost leaving as a legacy for me. Here's an account, and I want this money to be spent on family trips for the boys to get together with their family and do something one time a year. And that's where it's like, I'm leaving the money set aside. They can only spend it for family trips. I'm just spitballing this on the top of my head, but this is going to happen. But it's, you could do it for your kids that it's like, I want y'all to get together at least one time a year as a whole family together and on mom and dad go and do whatever.
Yeah. I've already drafted something like that for a few clients.
That's really cool.
Very similar. Like once a year, you must take this sum of money from the trust and use it to do this, this, and this. It has to be for this length of time. It needs to be away from the city where you live.
Yeah.
And, there are all sorts of rules that they put in there, but it was just to continue that togetherness.
Yeah. But I'm sure there's going to be years that it's kicking because everybody has intentions of that, but that's keeping the value of family moving forward.
It's an incentive for your boys to remain close and their families because there's money involved. It's like, here's a free trip, but you got to do it together. You got to go out there.
Yeah, it goes back to the questions you should ask yourself when you're coming up with all of these plans. It's like I said, what are the strengths that you want to pass on? What are the habits or patterns that you want to improve?
Yeah.
How do you want family members to treat one another? The specific reason that I was given by one set of parents of why they wanted this trip is because they were afraid if they didn't have it, mandated that the kids would grow apart once they were gone. And so they wanted them to continue to be in each other's lives and love each other and be kind to each other and so forth. But then bottom line, obviously, that all answers to all of those questions that we have posed. That sort of is what is the legacy that you want to leave. That can also shape your charitable planning, your
multi-generational planning and how you want to structure that. And I do have to throw my clause in there of
clause. Jeez.
I'm throwing I was thinking my clause, like CLAUSE clause, my clause.
But also your Santa Claus.
Our Santa Claus.
It is the season.
Yes, that a family grows. And so when a family starts and it's mom and dad and it's the kids, and then you start adding spouses and adding kids, and then it starts, getting bigger and bigger. And sometimes the addition of outside people can cause ripples and can cause the different values. Number one, it can cause values to grow and evolve and change, and maybe changes to your value statement, your mission statement. But, structuring things where it's protecting your values. I'm not saying, I do not want it to be like it is only the core family and nobody else, because Daniel's grandmother was that way. She would physically cut the spouses out of pictures.
No way.
And just leave the blood, but she would leave the grandkids. And then somebody would argue and be like, the only reason the grandkids are there is because of those spouses. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's only the true family, but think about that as well as protecting, because you don't want things to get messed up because there's one bad spouse that then is only short-lived in the lifetime. And so it's nice to then sometimes have that structure and have that of, well, this is what mom and dad left as a legacy, or this is what grandpa left as a legacy, whoever it may be. Food for thought as you're going into the holiday season, as you're hopefully sitting around enjoying the maybe chaotic time of Christmas, because it is a lot. You've got everybody together and everybody's different ways that they let their children behave, or that they, do the dishes or things like that. And so we're all kind of on edge, but take a second to look around the room and decide, what would our mission statement be? Mm-hmm. What would our legacy be if we were all together in this room and had to decide something? Maybe you bring it up after, a couple of glasses of eggnog and let's talk about it.
Sounds like a good time. Yeah, there's no better time in the year to consider your legacy. Yeah. How do you want people to remember you? You got me thinking, Katie.
Good.
Got me thinking about a mission statement for my family and matching T-shirts.
Of course. You got to do it. We know that I think Court's family needs to get matching PJs so they can listen to him read Santa Mouse.
Don't give Robin any ideas.
Oh, man.
Oh, I think you will have to read an why can't I say that word? Excerpt of that book.
On our next show? It's happening.
That I could read the whole book. It's like 20 pages maybe, and each page is mostly illustration with like a sentence on it.
Well, then you're reading it in our next podcast.
It's
Katie, you bring a Christmas reading too. This will be a little reading around the campfire.
Okay, I think we can bullseye this up.
Oh yeah.
This season reminds us of the greatest gift aren't always wrapped. Have these conversations. Think about what's going to be passed down to you. Think about being intentional with your planning and start having these conversations. Ask your parents. Think about for yourself what you would do. Put yourself at, some ease of what could be your legacy. Bullseye.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there's the closing bell. Ladies and gentlemen, there's the closing bell. You have made it to the end of yet another episode of the Bullcast Podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our podcast delivered directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about Cortland, Katie, Cameron, and Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. We've got pictures up there, we've got bios, and we've got a place where you can drop a comment or suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about. But hey, I mentioned pictures. We do have an Instagram, and we do have pictures on the Instagram. That Instagram handle is at Bullcast Podcast. We also have an X handle, which is also at Bullcast Podcast. And rounding out the social media, we have a Facebook page, which is Bullcast the Podcast. Please talk to us there if you want to. But as I am wont to do every single episode, let me mention to you that Katie, Cameron, Nicole, and I all work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. If you'd like to find out even more about us, or find out about what we do, find out about what we could do for you, find out about our amazing team, and find out about our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not an E.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've given you everything you need to go out there and build yourself a legacy. So for now, I'm Court.
I'm Katie.
I'm Cam.
And we're done.